Story 1. I'm not homeless anymore. My chronic illness is in remission, so I can feed myself and even work outside the house. Life is good. Story 2. I think about the natural wonders and the organisms, both beautiful and terrifying, that inhabit this earth with me. I also think that no matter how bad things seem on our pale blue dot, the cosmos are massive and complex, and new stars are still being born in stellar nurseries. I like to think of my life in a historical context. I needed a root canal a few weeks ago and was pretty bummed about it until I remembered that old-time dentistry involved whiskey and a man with a steady hammering hand. Hardcore history and similar shows are excellent workout motivation. My ancestors had to be ready to fight. This bike ride to the grocery store is a cakewalk by comparison, and it is good exercise for me too. Someone reminded me of an amazing short story. Creative writing, novels, and art also cheer me up greatly. Story 3. I try to remember that we are all just making it up as we go along. Story 4. Although I have kidney failure and am on dialysis 3 days a week, I remind myself that I am alive and can be with my family. Many other serious illnesses do not give that luxury. I am from the United Kingdom, Scotland to be more specific. Story 5. I text a friend to see if they want to have dinner. We plan a menu, cook together, and enjoy a drink or two. Life feels pretty good after dinner and drinks with friends, and I get to try many new recipes. Story 6. The experiences with people are what matter most, not money or material things. Story 7. I think that all things considered, I am reasonably healthy and there is no warrant for my arrest. Story 8. Riding my bike and listening to music takes my mind off everything. I forget what is going on and feel happy. Update. Holy crap. Thank you for the upvotes and the 2 silver awards. I just got off work, so this is a shock. I am laughing out loud. Thank you, everyone. Story 9. Hopefully this gets past all the award stuff. But one thing that reminds me that everything is not all bad is that I have people and pets who want me around. I can have a terrible day, come home, and my dog is waiting at the door to greet me every day. I will lie down and he will come, cuddle with me. My sister notices when I'm in a funk and will make me dinner or dessert to lift my spirits. And I do not have to say a word. I am close enough with my best friend that he can tell something is off about me just by the way I text, and he will come over to play video games and talk. Please remember that there are people around you who love you and care for you. When you are having an awful day, there are people who actively want to make it better because they care for you. You may not notice the ways they do it, but they do. It can be as simple as someone asking how your day was, or as elaborate as taking you out to unwind and relax. No one is ever alone in this world, even if you feel that way. If you genuinely feel alone, message me. I welcome conversations from anyone. Story 10. When I lie down at night with my cat, who is 20 years old, all the stress just melts away. She is such a love bug, and I am so lucky to have had her this long. This is Callie in 2000, the oldest picture I have of her. I have pictures of Callie now and of me. Story 11. Right now it is the photo I saw in Photoshop battles a while back. This beautiful cat fills me with so much joy when I look at it. Story 12. I laugh at myself for being such a big old Eeyore. Edit. I think someone is trying to get people to reply to this thread. Maybe they feel others need to see the replies. Story 13. We are only here for a minute. Enjoy it. Thank you for the cake day wishes. Love you guys. Story 14. My love for the deer by the roadside reminds me of the innocence of nature and makes me feel warm and alive. Story 15. This whole thread is reminding me that life is not always so bad. Thank you. Story 16. I can die later. The world will kill me whether I like it or not, so why not stick around for a few more decades and see what happens? In some ways, it is comforting to know I do not have to do this forever and I do not have to end my life. Curiosity and things to look forward to, such as television shows, games, movies, or visits from relatives, keep me going. I always pick something to anticipate. Story 17. My cat instinctively knows when I'm down. He becomes very cuddly and won't leave my side when I'm upset. My fiancé always says he must be a loved one reincarnated. Story 18. My kids are helping me more than anything else right now. Story 19. I had a stroke a couple of weeks ago. I am only 27 and there is no medical explanation for it. While I was in the hospital walking down the hall with my good old buddy Winston, the name I gave my intravenous drip machine that was pumping me with blood thinner, an older gentleman across the hall saw me and told his nurse I was far too young to be in the intensive care unit. He had a small plastic Halloween pumpkin and not much else, so he asked the nurse to give it to me. I never found out which patient gave me that pumpkin, but since the stroke, whenever things get stressful, I look at it. It sits on my desk at work and reminds me that everything is okay. I plan to keep my little plastic stroke pumpkin for the rest of my life, however long or short it may be. I never expected this to get so much attention. I am driving home from work soon and am still replying to comments. Thank you all for taking the time to show support. It means a lot, and it is strangely comforting that so many strangers took a moment to relate and offer encouragement. For those who gave awards, thank you. I am glad my experience made an impression on someone else's day. Story 20. I'm still breathing. After 2 suicide attempts, I haven't had a negative thought like that in a long time, a year to be exact. I haven't had a drink in a few weeks, and I'm starting back at a job that I lost a few years ago. I'm surprised they're giving me another shot. It's winter, but it's been so beautiful the last week. And when my husband gets off work, we're going to go down to the water and just relax. Story 21. I go for a walk. Sometimes a little sunshine will help ease my anxiety. Story 22. Somewhere, someone has gone through something much worse and made it through. Why can't I? Story 23. I have a very long list of things that give me a certain feeling, like appreciative nostalgia, almost but not quite. A few items are air conditioning in hotels, trains, lucky numbers, being introduced to something new by someone you love, mixes labeled with themes like rain, for sleeping, for driving, when the lights dim before previews in the movie theater. Story 24. My youngest daughter Emma is 1.5 years old and knows how to enjoy every second of life. She wakes with a smile and goes to bed grinning while holding her Winnie the Pooh. She falls while walking, dusts herself off and keeps going. Every time she hears a motorcycle, she says ooh and then vroom vroom while signing motorcycle. Story 25. I look at my adult children. They are happy and successful. It makes me feel satisfied that I did a good job as a mother. Story 26. My mother died from cancer at the age of 48. At the time, my sister struggled with heroin addiction, and my father was unfaithful and facing bankruptcy. Despite everything, she still showed people great kindness and was a wonderful woman who was always smiling. I have depression and my life is not great right now. I always tell myself it can get better, and that if my mother could live day to day with a smile on her face, so can I. I believe more people going through a terrible time could use an example like her to give them a little push in the right direction. Story 27. When days are hard and nights are long, when storms are raging, when all my dreams are not strong, and hopes are not enough, I close my eyes to hear the breeze, the secret words inside, the whispered winds that shake the trees, the songs that skip and hide. I hear the rhymes that ride the tide, the swing, the sound, the beat, the lines that swell and slip and slide, in stanzas small and sweet. I hear the sounds that hold and wait, for those who seek to find a safer shore, a surer state, a better frame of mind. When days are hard and tempests cry, a squall of aches and pains, I close my eyes and breathe a sigh, and poetry remains. Story 28. I am not part of the horror happening in the world. I am not one of the teenagers abused by their parents. I do not live in an area affected by war, hunger, or lack of education. I am fortunate to live in a safe, peaceful neighborhood without criminal activity. I often compare myself to people my age who have it much worse, and then I realize how lucky I am and how good everything really is. Story 29. I think of the soldiers in the trenches during World War I. It puts things in perspective when I have to get up early for a stressful day at the office. Story 30. I am not a badass, and I am not keeping score with anyone. I was mortared a few times in Afghanistan. After that, I came to realize that every day above ground is a gift. Story 31. Lack of money is not that big of a deal when I remember that I have my health, a job I enjoy, and a partner who appreciates me. Story 32. I am still getting notifications about this. Thank you so much to whoever is trolling me. I appreciate it even though I do not deserve it. I cannot believe the response this has received. I could not have imagined it. You are all breathtaking, as a wise man once said. I am sorry I cannot respond to everyone. Edit. I am so overwhelmed. Everyone. I do not know whether to cry, laugh, or jump on my bed like a child in a Christmas advertisement. Thank you so much. Story 33. Remember that, statistically speaking, we live in the most peaceful and prosperous time in history. Average lifespans are longer than they have ever been, and the world is gradually improving for everyone, regardless of their situation. It may not always appear that way, but on average this is true. Story 34. On an infinite timeline, I somehow exist at the same time as Rick and Morty, Honey Mustard, and Onion Pretzel Bites. Story 35. In boot camp, our drill sergeant told us, "It does not get easier. You get better." It is not what everyone needs to hear all the time, but by golly, it has gotten me through some rough patches. Story 36. Hi. I just wanted to comment and say thank you to everyone. I will try to respond to as many people as I can, but I am a slow typist on a phone that freezes. Thank you to the person giving away these awards. You are making a lot of people happy. Edit. This is on the top posts page. If this turns into a Reddit or YouTube video, I will be very surprised. I am still trying to respond to everyone, but I am not making much progress. Story 37. Some people are not dicks and will say something that makes you smile for days afterward. I think about that. Story 38. I have a 4-year-old who thinks I'm the coolest dad ever. I feel like breaking down all the time, but I couldn't do that to him. I'm his rock, but really, he's mine. Story 39. People who have more money than I do are also prone to wasting it on pointless purchases such as Reddit awards. Story 40. 2 years ago, I attempted to take my life. For a couple of months afterward, I kept thinking that I should have died and that I did not belong here. I did not know what to do. I realized my anxiety was so severe that I was one panic attack away from attempting again. I realized that while I am here, I had to try to get better. So I tried, and I am still trying. It is the hardest and best thing I have ever done. What makes me realize it is not all that bad are the little moments in the last 2 years that made me think I am glad to have been alive for this. They are always small, silly things. A friend buys me a chocolate bar I love, or I play a game I really enjoy. It is honestly worth surviving all the personal hell I have been through to experience them. Those are the moments that make me feel that it is not all so bad. Story 41. It's more of a mindset or perspective than anything else. If I'm having a bad day, I try to focus on the good things. It sounds very cliché to type it out, but when I think of the millions of people who have it worse, some of them suffering life-threatening diseases or facing difficulties like blindness or paralysis, I remember that some of them are even happier than I am at the moment. It takes away some of the stress I might be feeling. I'm also Christian and believe there is a greater purpose or reason for things, and it does help me. Story 42. I love that someone is making days a little brighter for so many people, even if I do not receive an award. Story 43. It is enough that dogs exist. They are animals that are as close to perfect as any creature can be. A dog will never cheat on you, cut you off in traffic or make an obscene gesture, pass you over for a promotion, or make fun of your weight. Your dog thinks you look fantastic in that outfit you bought, but we're kind of nervous to wear because it is not your usual look. Dogs are the best. Story 44. As long as I keep pushing, it gets easier. Roger Stone was convicted today. There was a crying billionaire. Story 45. I have a safe, comfortable home, a wife I love who loves me back, and 2 great dogs that think I am a god. Story 46. I'm not dead. I'm still fighting so things can get better. Story 47. There are so many awards in the comment section that I feel bad for the person spending this money. Story 48. Honestly, I have nothing. Everything feels very bad. I grew up in a country that did not prepare me for my future, with parents who did not support my passions and left me with nothing. My father is dead and left nothing. My mother will not assist me and offers little to no emotional support. I am in a dead-end career I do not enjoy because I had to choose my future at 18 and no one told me how important that decision was. Everything else is a mess. I have been treated unfairly by the police and by people at work. I have never felt that anyone was on my side. It feels like everyone is against me. The only thing that keeps me going is my love of music and the hope that I can become a music producer or start my own business. Story 49. I often think how I could have been born into worse circumstances. I am grateful that I can make my own choices, have the freedom to live as I please, have a job to support myself, and enjoy good health. When I face difficulties, I remember that some people are placed in situations beyond their control and lack the ability or support from friends or family to recover. That helps me keep my head held high and carry on. Story 50. I look at it this way. I have clean, dry clothes, a roof over my head, and people who care. Everything else will pan out and improve with time. For now, everything is all right. Story 51. I remember that I have human immunodeficiency virus and how difficult it can be. I remind others that their lives are not that bad because they could have human immunodeficiency virus like I do. What breaks my heart most is seeing children with cancer or congenital illnesses. It makes me feel compassion for the children and their families. Story 52. This recently happened. I'm a healthcare security officer and see my fair share of awful. A few days ago, I had to rush a woman into the emergency room. Her husband ran into the lobby where I was, his eyes full of raw animal panic. He said his wife needed help. It was a miscarriage, an ugly one. A literal trail of heavy blood from the parking garage into the emergency room lobby. I was pretty shaken. I had to call environmental services to clean it all up. For about 30 minutes, the entire floor looked like a red and white watercolor. I sat at the emergency room desk, still messed up about it and feeling more and more depressed. The woman was rushed to surgery. The baby did not make it. Then I heard laughter. I looked up and saw parents with their beautiful little daughter skipping between them down that same path that, an hour earlier, had been covered in blood. Long story short, seeing that juxtaposition sort of helped. Yes, there is so much awful, but give it an hour, sometimes even a minute, and here comes beauty and innocence just skipping along. It really changed my perspective. Story 53. There is a weekly email called Rose-Colored Roundup. Past issues are available online. There is so much that is horrible in the world. I need a weekly pick-me-up that highlights some of the good things happening to help me feel optimistic about the future. It has really improved my outlook on life. Story 54. I am alive, happily married, and have 2 beautiful, healthy children. It could be so much worse. Story 55. Dogs and puppy videos, including reunion, senior tippy tap, and derpy clips, always get a smile. Story 56. What the hell is happening? Edit. I got gilded within a minute. What the hell? Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.